Welcome to the Browney podcast, and today we're here with Badr, one of the Bar brothers, and to me, honestly, I've actually followed you for quite some time. This is one of the first early calisthenics big guys in the Netherlands, I would say. Do you see yourself like that as well?
I'm fairly humble about that, but
Well, one of the Bar brothers, I guess that's already says something, because Bar brothers exist since
2011, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah,
it's definitely one of the early calisthenics groups that make calisthenics sort of go viral, I would say. So that's very interesting. So you might know this guy from Bar Brothers, 25-year-old. Tell a little about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Badr VDS. Most people call me Badr from, maybe you know the kickboxer Badr Hari.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've been training for 7 years now. I'm a calisthenics athlete. Now I'm advanced athlete, but I started as a beginner and started 7 years ago. I got inspired by Bar Brothers, first by a friend. I used to work in the supermarket, and I did fitness for 1 year. And after the 1 year, I thought I came past him, and he inspired me to do calisthenics. And so he introduced me to Bar Brothers. And I got so inspired to train pure calisthenics. At first, I was like, I didn't know what you can achieve with pure calisthenics training. But then I saw Lazar, Dujan, and Ivan from Serbia, from Bar Brothers, and they had amazing physiques, and they have been training for over 10 years already. So I got really inspired and thought maybe I could change this game in the Netherlands to show what's possible.
I think that's cool because I think actually both of you have made an impact on how calisthenics is known right now, not just in Holland, but worldwide. And I think that's pretty cool because, yes, when you started, I think I was doing calisthenics around the same time. Whenever I told someone I'm doing calisthenics, they were like, what's that? I've never heard of it. Mm-hmm. At least nowadays people say, oh, that's the bodyweight training, right? If they don't know what it is. So I think, and I think definitely both of you and you as well have been part of that growth. I think that's super cool.
Exactly. And I think, like you said, lots of people have no clue what is possible with calisthenics and what you can achieve. And I think what you've shown is that you can achieve a lot.
I mean, you said in the beginning, one of the big guys in calisthenics, that's both ways, right? It's big physical, but also like as a name.
As a name in definitely the Netherlands calisthenics scene. Definitely. Like that's just, I mean, I would say epic. But I like just some stats, because you got a dip, which is like 160 kilograms.
Yeah. I'm working towards it, but I think it's possible in about 2 months when I get. I'm competing in a competition. So
added 160 kilos.
Yeah,
not a total.
No, not
added.
a total. Added. So literal weight plates.
Yes.
And I mean, you're working towards 100 kilogram.
Yeah. I'm close to
pull up.
Pull up will take a little bit longer, but for chin up, I guess I'm stronger in chin up than pull up. But I'm at 100 kg pull up, and I will reach 105, 110 probably in 2 months, like easy.
That's how much do you weigh yourself? Roughly.
Well, yeah,
roughly. You just finished.
Okay, yeah, I finished Ramadan, so I wasn't busy looking at my weight. My goal was to gain strength and purely strength, and I wasn't focused on the weight. So I guess 86, 87 might be higher, might be 85, but I'm very happy with my physique and my strength. So
exactly. How tall are you?
177.
Yeah.
So that's pretty heavy.
That's pretty heavy. Yeah.
And it's not like you're like fat. You're pretty shredded as well. So that says something about the strength.
But as you can see and hear, basically, that this is impressive, some impressive stats everywhere, basically, strength and muscle-wise. So let's get a little bit into, or let's talk about your training. Like, you've been training for 7 years. How are you training right now, and did that change from the beginning?
Yeah, so I did fitness, so I had a good base already, and I trained 5 times arms a week. So I got steady arms, good triceps. Sounds crazy.
Did you get good arms from training arms 5 days a week?
No. It sounds crazy because, but as a beginner, you do everything to become better, you ask the big guys what they do, and they tell you they train five times arms a day, and you're going to try.
I mean, back in the day, people, I guess, did. Right now, luckily, YouTube has evolved and grown a little bit. I mean, that's where people get their sources from right now, I guess. YouTube, Google.
I mean, yes, on YouTube, but in the gym, the big guys, hopefully, like, 8 years ago they didn't tell you to fucking train arms 5 times a week.
I hope so.
That doesn't make sense.
When you look at bodybuilders back in the day, so much different than the training right now. It has evolved, and I have evolved too in my training. I train way smarter now, way smarter. Yeah.
So how do you train right now?
Right now it's focused on pure strength, so I'm not going higher than 6 reps actually. The rep range will differ between 2 and 6 reps, so that's pure strength.
Pure strength, yeah.
Yeah, and then one time in a couple months you max 1 rep max just to test, and then you can take a percentage of the 1 rep max to train.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes.
Yeah.
So interestingly enough, we just said pure strength, but as you might have noticed yourself, probably, is that when you train pure strength, you're also you also can gain muscle. You also can see a difference in your physique. I mean, people think that it's just this in boxes. So if you train between 1 and 5 reps, you gain just strength. If you train between 6 and 12 reps, it's just hypertrophy. It's just muscle and on top of that. But no, it's just like it's all just a bit more steady. So how did you experience that?
Well, I've been in all rep ranges, even rep ranges above 100, especially with the push-ups. But even above 100, you can build muscle. Why? Your body doesn't see the difference eventually when you train till failure. So training to failure has been a big aspect for me to build muscle and strength. And I've always pushed past my limits, almost every training, and it has helped me a lot. But for beginners, sometimes it's not the best way to train failure all the time because you won't recover. So as a beginner, I was sore like 7 days a week. But now I'm rarely sore because I train smart. So now I'm coaching people and I teach them that it's not important how many days you train, but how efficient you train in these days. So
I think it's just going back to the rep range for a sec, because of course, how many reps you do, I think what is much more important is your RPE or RPE. So how many reps do you still have left in the tank, right? Because I could do 3 reps with a weight which is super light, and I know I'm stopping after 3, but I could do 20 more. But I think what's important when you train strength is that you want to have an RPE of 1 or 2. So you should feel like I can do 1, maybe 2 more per set. I wouldn't say go to failure every set as well, because then of course after that first set, it's going to drop off, especially if you train weighted. If you do body weight, going to failure is very different from if you use heavy weights in the gym. I think also for your joints.
It's definitely also different because depending on the weight, if you do like a pull-up, your 25th or your 30th pull-up, going from 29 to 30 is a very big jump. So if you then can't get that 30th rep, then that most of the time is like the same as having like 2 reps left or something with weight or with a lat pull down or something, or 2 to 3 reps left. At least that's what it feels like personally when I've experienced that. But so that's interesting. So you say that you focus on strength right now. So looking at the way you train right now, has that always been the case? Or because you just said you've also been in all rep ranges. So how did that go throughout? Well, how did you build this insane physique? That's what people might wonder.
At the first 2 years, I guess, it was pure body weight. But then I didn't see the results I wanted. So then I came along like one athlete from Ukraine. He did weighted calisthenics, and we did it as well, but he did it next level. So I wanted to go next level, and I went to the gym to put some weights, and I tested. My first time dips was already like 60, 80 kilogram between that. So I saw my strengths, and then I kept focusing on my strengths. Some people have strengths in legs or in statics, or they're super flexible. They can use it in their advantage. So I took that advantage to make sure I get some movements where I can specialize in and get super strong. And right now it's just a pull up, dip, chin up, and squat. But in the beginning, it was everything to find out what my strengths and my weaknesses are. So right now, my goal is to focus on my weaknesses and as well on my strength, but my weaknesses. When you train 8 years, it's very important to focus on your weaknesses to overcome plateaus.
Yeah.
So you have to find out. Many people they come across plateaus and they give up because they don't see any progress anymore. At the end, it's super important to keep making progress because it's motivating.
Yeah. What would you say are your weaknesses?
Flexibility. You have the bigger muscles I already have, so raw strength, I got plenty of it. But the small muscles, if it makes sense,
the stabilization muscles and those things.
The system. How do you say? You can train certain. Like for example, one example is my handstand was weak and it was a banana handstand. And one thing I used to do was just practice, but then I recorded myself and saw, is there any a flexion in my, contraction in my glutes or my core? No, there wasn't. So these kind of tricks you have to train. And for example, on a weighted dip, if you see you're not explosive enough, then you have to train your explosiveness. And if you see when you go down on a dip, that goes hard.
Exactly.
If that's hard, then you're gonna train that, but not with super high weight, just low weight, and focus on that for a while.
This is always why I always say that it's very important to record yourself. Some people think like recording yourself is kind of scary, or they don't want to, even especially if they train in the gym. But recording yourself, looking back form and stuff like that is that's key to improve, and especially been working out for that long. Because going back to like the you've been working out this long, you said your dip already like 6 years ago was like 60 kilograms or something, like 80, something like that. Yeah. Which shows to me also that in 6 years' time, you've built it up to almost towards now 160, which is consistency. Like if staying consistent, you can have a great workout program, but if you're not staying consistent for like 6 years now, again, you would never have brought that 60 to 160 or 80 to 160.
Yeah. Right now, it's way harder to see like progress. Way harder than at the beginning, and but it motivates. Even if you gain like on a pull-up 2.5 kilogram, it's amazing to gain 2.5 kilogram, because that 2.5 kilogram can make a difference in a competition to win or lose.
Exactly, just that micro loading.
Let's go to that competition, because you've mentioned it a few times right now. What kind of competition are you going to be doing? And how is it structured? Are like weight classes?
Yeah, well, I've competed a couple of times already, and it was in endurance and it was in weighted calisthenics. So some competitions you have to compete in max repetitions on pull-up, dip. You have even squats sometimes, but pull-up, dips,
like
muscle-ups.
Weightless squats, so no added weight, or
both. You have both. You can choose. Usually I take everything because it's more challenging. I know.
Bodyweight squats, you could probably do so many. Yeah, like before you get
endless.
Yeah,
endless. But of course, you need added weight to make it challenging. But right now, the competition is coming up. It's a 1 rep max competition.
Nice.
And this is the most amount of weight for 1 rep.
Yeah. And then you said it's dips, pull-ups, and squats.
This one is no squats, but I'm going to build the squat to improve, if it makes sense, to improve the rest. Because legs,
makes sense.
Legs has a big... is a big point in improving the whole body if it's one,
Of course.
So for me, at least.
I mean, I must say, I saw you looking as well. It's not like you've never done leg day, I think. If I it's not like you have to start. How much do you squat right now?
Right now, I don't really train legs, but it's like 180, 200 kilogram squat. So
you don't really train legs?
No, no. But I keep them active, especially with the split training. It's very intense, and you have to contract. Sometimes I'm even sore after flexibility training because you have to contract.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like for example, a front lever. If you train it, if you don't squeeze your glutes and your legs enough, it won't never be super straight. So you train your legs in a front lever as well because it's static stretch. Yeah. Static movement.
We're talking about the competition. I have a few questions about the competition, but also because you're saying right now you don't train legs. I want to know, because we just talked about your training. What does a week look like for you? Maybe you're now building towards that competition, but what is
in terms of training?
In terms of training, so from Monday to Sunday.
Okay, Monday to Sunday. Because the Ramadan was...
we'll get into that in a second.
Yeah, you just finished like 30 days of fasting.
Okay, yeah. 30 days of fasting, I did 3 to 4 times a week. That's smart training.
Yeah.
No more, no soreness, nothing.
Full body?
No, upper body and lower bodies. But I skipped lower body. Yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah, yeah. The focus was upper body because the competition is upper body. So it makes sense to train upper body more. It's not that I skip legs because I train split and I make sure my legs stay active by walking hills and doing some bodyweight squats in the morning, to stay active. Yeah. But 3 times a week, 3 or 4 upper body days, like purely upper body. And the upper body days consist of pull-up, dip, and chin-up. So some days my focus is pull-ups, some days my focus is chin-up, and some days my focus is dip. So I have priority days. And on the priority days, like for example, a pull-up, I go 100% on the pull-up. Like not one rep max, but I give everything on the first exercise. Yeah. So then the exercise after, for example, it's dips.
Your nerve system is already been touched, so it's going to be
exactly. Exactly.
Makes sense.
Cool. That's how I train right now, and I added 2 more days of training because I'm right now training push-pull legs and not upper body day, so that's a difference. So in Ramadan I train 3 times a week, 3-4 times a week upper body. Now it's push-pull legs because I train more times a week. I can drink water, I stay hydrated.
Yeah. So during normal months it's push-pull legs.
Yeah, exactly.
And you are, how many calories? Do you track calories?
No, I
like his face right now.
I already thought so.
For a beginner, it's almost crucial to have experience in knowing your body and how much you need a day to grow or lose weight. But for me, as an experienced athlete, I don't need to count anymore. I just know my body. 2 days ago, I ate 6 donuts. You can ask, like 6 donuts. I feel fine, but I don't suggest people to eat 6 donuts. If your body can, it's not that I eat donuts all day or every day. It's just sometimes feel good for your body. It sounds weird, but
I like what you did there using the Bar Brothers slogan. It's not like I eat donuts all day, every day.
All day, every day.
I do want to get into the Ramadan right now.
Yeah.
Because of course Ramadan is in a different time of the year every single year, right? This year it was long days. Right. Yes. With that, how does that affect your training? And you say you were smart about it now, but how did you do it maybe a few years ago? What have you learned?
Yeah, a few years ago, I used to train every day, all
during
day,
Ramadan as well.
All day, every day. That's what the lifestyle means, Bar Brothers. But people understand it wrong. All day, every day is like living the lifestyle, not purely training. Yeah, the rest days is the lifestyle as well. Resting, taking care of your body. But in the Ramadan, what was the question again? I forgot.
Well, so you already said you train a bit less, but now you train smart during Ramadan. How did you used to do it maybe a few years ago?
Yeah.
And how does it impact your training in general? Ramadan?
Yeah, I trained every day, but I was sore and I lost muscle. Yeah. So my trainings were too intense. The volume was too high. But I didn't realize it after maybe 2 more Ramadans after. So it's all experience. If I had a coach who told me that it's very bad to train high volume on these training days, then I would have done it different. But you can train high volume, but very close to hydration, like at the end or at the beginning of the day, after hydrating. The water is the most important thing. And after, of course, you have to eat good carbohydrates, egg whites and not egg whites, proteins and fats. But the main thing is water. The muscle gets killed if your muscles are not hydrated. It's very dangerous, especially for injuries.
Of course, yeah. And what I like is I know quite some guys and girls who do Ramadan and train. Some of them use it as an excuse, like, I can't really train right now because I have Ramadan. Some go crazy like what you used to go, and some go about it smart that you do.
Yeah.
And I think that's all about the mindset that you show through everything, right? Like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get the results in a smart way. And I think that's super good. You talk about hydration. Do you struggle during your workouts in Ramadan?
Not really, because my rest times are 3.5 minutes. So
always, or just in Ramadan?
Just in Ramadan. So it's so easy. You do 2 to 6 reps, difference between 4 and 6 reps usually. I train, and then I sit down 3.5 minutes. I talk with people who train in Ramadan as well. That helps a lot. Your surroundings. If you got people who do Ramadan as well, it helps a lot. But if you're lonely, it's very challenging. I can understand, but it helps a lot. Long rest, low reps, low volume, and.
How long are the workouts?
So this is crazy. I wasn't expecting the strength workouts to take this long, but I did.
Well, they do.
With 3.5 minutes rest to get a bit of volume in.
Exactly.
You have like workouts that are easily close to 2 hours probably.
Yeah, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
With side work exercise as well, because I didn't really focus on side work exercise in the years. Side work exercises are exercise you can use to improve the exercises. Like you improve the muscle up by doing the muscle up.
Yeah.
But then you got straight bar dips to improve the muscle up. Like these exercises, you have to focus specifically to get stronger in a muscle up. So
it's true, because I switched to actually a split from Magnus, who's been on the podcast as well, which is more strength as well. I went from 6 days a week training to 4 days a week training, much better results, by the way. I also went but my workouts are way longer, because now I do 4 to 6 reps, and I do full body days. So I start with 20-minute warm-up for squats, then squat for 20 minutes, then I start with like a 20-minute warm-up for bench and bench so I'm like an hour and a half in and I've done 2 exercises.
Yeah.
But you only go 4 days rather than 6 days, right? So I think it's fine time management wise.
yes.
And I like it.
Yeah, no, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, it's just also because you've been working out also for quite some time and tried a lot of stuff. So then it's just about trying stuff out.
Yeah.
I would say maybe an interesting question would be, what kind of tip would you give someone that's watching right now, maybe might be inspired by Bar Brothers or might be inspired by you as well, like everything to strength? What would you say is the best way to go at it? Because you could think right now, watching this or listening to this podcast, think, all right, so right now I'm going to train 3 times a week, full body or upper body, and that's the way I'm going to be like Badr. But what would be your tip, or what would be your real way to
For
look at
people in Ramadan, you mean?
Both,
in general?
both, but mainly in general.
Okay. So now I'm coaching people and I see everybody is different. So one-on-one coaching, you can get the fastest results. For a beginner, it doesn't really matter, but I would suggest full body. Like train full body at the beginning, get better in everything, do rounds of dips, pull-ups, sit-ups, planks, push-ups, do rounds like 4 times a week, 4 or 5 times a week, take 2 rest days. If some guys have talent and they recover way faster because their sleep is better and they eat better, that's just per each individual. It's a difference. It's a difference. Yeah,
that's why giving like this set, do this will work for everyone. It's always a bit harder, especially when you take into consideration that you want to have the fastest progress. Because the safest way for me, like I said, full body, I would say 3 times a week for a beginner. Also because some people you might work with are like very motivated, probably. But if you have someone who wants to get fit but is not very motivated to work out 5 times a week, they can be like, I'm skipping this one, and then once they skipped one, they can skip the next one.
What's crazy? I can coach these people and tell the people that they should train 4 or 5 times a week. Yeah. What if you get private things and you can train 4 times, 5 times a week? You have to adapt and stay consistent as well.
Exactly.
So adaptation is very, very, very important in training.
Then you get the consistency again, like doing it for 6 years, 8 years.
Yeah.
I have a question for both of you, because, you have your own workout program, and you don't have your own one that you sell online, but of course you helped sell the one from Bar Brothers.
Yeah.
It's funny how you guys both say that if you start, you should probably have more of a 3-day split and have more of a full body, right? Which I think both programs also have.
Yes.
Full body and not too many days. But my question more is like, would you say that if as a beginner it is good to start with just a general course, which is the same for everyone? Or would it be good as a beginner to already start with working someone one-on-one?
I would say that depends on the...
as a beginner, right? So you haven't really...
Depends on the beginner itself. So because I think if you're super motivated, like, you want to work out like 7 days a week, basically, you have these. I mean, beginners that are just insanely motivated. Maybe something happened, or they just see the results. Then, if you want to go that hard, then a one-on-one could be like one-on-one coaching or one-on-one work. That could probably be beneficial, but then it would also be quite costly, I would say. But for general beginner, I mean, depending, you can just start right away today. I'm not saying you need to have a course, but a course could help. Depending, I mean, the course we created,
a course or just a standard workout split you find for free online. So more like, should it be tailored to you when you start, or just start and do what?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, it depends. In the course that we build out a course over the course of an entire year, where we have so much information in there where people can literally tailor it towards themselves. So it's not just a course telling you. It's not a PDF where you get the workout split and that's it. It's literally you will learn about yourself and about your body and what you need. And get, like we talked about, with the counting calories and stuff like that, knowing what your body needs and how it responds to it. And yeah, like I already thought, you're not counting calories. I'm not really counting calories as well, because you know how your body works. But yeah, that's
All right.
Yeah, I always say almost every program works as long as you work. That's very simple way. I didn't like programs at the start, but because I was consistent, I was driven. That's enough for me. I was motivating, and I was open to learn. So a lot of beginners, I tell them, this is the right way to do a push-up. This is the right way to pull up. And the whole year they do wrong pull-ups and push-ups. I don't know. So maybe they can't really do, because the body it takes time to adapt to do the movement right.
Yeah.
But you should take really time to master the craft to get the best results.
Yeah.
There's difference between. Like I said, there's difference between the people that want to learn and work out 7 days a week, or people that want to get fit with the least amount of effort. There's two ends of the spectrum, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where you have motivation and people willing to learn. And yeah, you might do a little bit too much junk volume at the start if you do like 1 million push-ups and push-ups, but you are working out. You are working towards a goal, and you are, because you want to work out, you're putting yourself through a lot of stress. You're setting your boundaries, new boundaries, getting better and better. And that's what's most of the time the most important thing.
Yeah, if people want to achieve my body, I say most probably it's not possible to get my exact body.
Obviously.
But it's genetics. But some can even get a better physique and strength than me, I would say then.
Of course.
But it requires a lot of sacrifice, time and patience. And if you don't train the discipline, patience and everything, you won't get on this level. But I always tell you, you create the best version of yourself. Yeah. So that's the key thing. Be the best you can be. We always say as bar brothers. It sounds a little bit cringe for a lot of people, but at the end, it's what it's about. Be the best version of yourself. That's it.
Compare yourself to yourself.
To yourself. And of course, it helps to compare with me. You know, you can see he has big biceps. I want to build it as well. Use it as motivation. But that's it. Just put a mirror against me. Put it on yourself. Adapt for your own. And look in the mirror, of course. Look in the mirror. Look at yourself. What you want to change.
Yeah, what I like is throughout this whole thing, and we've mainly been talking about sports, of course, and working out, is it's very clear that your mindset is really about, I'm going to do whatever it takes to reach the goals. Is that something that you have everywhere in life? So in relationships, in work, or is that mainly for you the sports thing?
No, it's I try to. I'm fairly open-minded in these things, so I try to use the discipline in all aspects of life, in learning things. I quit school. I didn't finish university, but I quit school. But I always have worked because I have work ethic. Yeah, I got work ethic to learn. But so the discipline you can use to learn different things outside training as well. So discipline is if you can build it by small habits, and then you can use it in the things outside your training. It builds character as well. So with a big character and personality, you can achieve many things.
Oh yeah,
many things.
And I think an interesting question is always: did you get this mindset and discipline because you started working out, and or did you already have it through upbringing? So did the workout and did the calisthenics help you get this mindset?
I think it began when I was a kid. I was very, very driven. I think it's kind of genetically how my parents were built as well.
Upbringing, yeah.
Some people, they literally have a harder life and harder journey than I did. Yeah, because I have my genetics with me. I have this motivating parents who motivated me. Some have to do it all alone. It takes way longer. I ate good. I slept most of the time good. So these things, the basic things, if they are good, things go way faster than you can achieve way more things in shorter time than.
When I sort of listen to you, how much of a percentage of your life is working out? You would say.
If I take a break 1 month of training, I get addiction problems like a drug addict. Yeah. Because working out is addiction for me. You would say it's a good addiction, but for some people, like for example, bodybuilders. I'm not a bodybuilder. Maybe I look a little bit like one, but I'm not the bodybuilder that goes so far to use products to build ego. And some bodybuilders get aggressive, and these things happen. And for me, stay true to myself and don't use any of these crazy products. And yeah,
that's something I want to pivot on a bit, because I know you've been accused of taking some steroids and other things quite often. How does that affect you? Like, do you see this as a compliment, like, or do you feel bad about it? What?
It's a good question, because in the beginning I get pissed off because it puts down the work. How do you say?
Yeah.
Ondankbaar.
It undermines like the amount of effort you've put in, and it kind of destroys. Like, it's like saying, hey, you've put in all this work, but you did it with
exactly. At the beginning I get pissed off. Now it's a compliment. I'm used to it. It's kind of crazy. You get used to these crazy things. I think it's still crazy when people think it's not possible naturally, because I speak with people worldwide. We even have a crazier physique than me, and they're natural. I've spoke to them, they're working out for 10, 15, sometimes 20 years of their life. Yeah. Who can say that these times? Like, they do master the craft for so long. For me, it's 8 years now total.
Would you say that it was more in the beginning that you could call, because you started out with, like I said, the calisthenics like early on, and then you maybe saw some good results in the beginning, and nowadays people have seen obviously what real enhanced physiques look like. It's different, especially these clear obviously all these competitions and stuff like that. But back in the day, especially with calisthenics, it was all just a bit guessing. Like, everyone's like, oh, he's on steroid, he's using, he's that, but maybe is it getting less now?
No, it's getting more.
Oh, I think it is because of calisthenics, to be honest. Because people think, oh, it's body weights. You can never get that body naturally. If you would have done bodybuilding, it's possible. But I think that's more the case.
It's getting more because when you got calisthenics athlete who train as well for physique, you got a lot of fake naturals out there on social media, and it fucks up with. Sorry that I'm cursing, but it fucks up with people, their minds. They get a wrong idea what's possible, and it's very bad. But these people, they live amazing lives on social media, maybe in real life too. But that's very sketchy. It is bad for those people who are really natural and live this life naturally. And
what I hate most about that is that those people often sell courses. And they say, hey, if you buy my course, you can get my physique. And they forget to tell that they've been taking or something else, right? So, but I mean, I get it. And I think it's good that you sort of see it as a compliment these days, because rather than having it as undervaluing your hard work, it might be even, showing respect for, wow,
Yeah.
If you manage to achieve that, that's insane.
What I've experienced is at the beginning it was more than now. Why? People actually follow you, they know you, and they've seen your progress. The moment I went up in strength is when I focused on strength. But if you have insane strength days, for example, you go from 100 kilo dip to 200 kilo dip in 2 months.
Yeah.
What the, like, of course I understand that people think that I use. That's a crazy strength. Maybe I don't have the craziest physique changes, but maybe it's a strength, you know? It's very tricky. And it's very tricky.
Yeah, exactly. So to get back to the question, how much percentage of your life would be working out? If you would now stop for a month, like you said, would that give you an insane amount of free time?
Yes.
Yes. How much time do you spend working out, or at least on fitness?
Percentage. Man, that's a really good question.
Because I
look like when what if I work out? Let's see, I work out 5 p.m. 2 hours before, I am already thinking about the training mindset. Like, it's not
exactly.
I'm not thinking. I'm thinking literally, how am I going to prepare my mind for that training? How am I going to eat before the training? How am I going to see how I can improve the training and the sleep after that? That's the whole thinking throughout the day, couple hours before the training.
Yeah.
And you're doing that while you're working. I'm working an office job full time. So you're doing that through the normal job. Like, think about the training. Because that's,
that's maybe good because we've only focused on sports, which is great for this podcast. But you mentioned your job and that you're sitting the whole day. What do you do?
Yeah, it's just an administrative job. So it's a lot of working with Excel and files, stuff like that. Yeah. I finished a degree on HRM, which is
human resource management.
Human resource management. I liked talking with people and hiring people. That's what I liked. So I finished that degree. And but sometimes that finishing a study will help you throughout the future. Like, sometimes it takes small steps to become like this, like an athlete. You know, if it sounds logic.
It's getting a right mindset as well, and just getting all these small pieces together, just learning, experience. Yes,
exactly.
But
that's what I mean.
know your goal is not to work for someone the rest of your life. I mean, we've spoken in the past quite a few times.
Do you like the job?
Yeah. No, I like the job, but of course, as an athlete, it's crazy to say that I want to do this for the rest of my life. Like, I see the future of calisthenics. I see what I want to achieve, but I want to do together with Bar Brothers, which makes it very hard. I want to do it together because we're a big family as Bar Brothers. You want to go as a team, you know, and I don't want to go as an individual. But I have to make choices as an individual to grow and to build my own business, which I'm doing, but slowly. I wasn't ready to coach for 7 years. I wasn't ready because my focus was being an athlete, and being a coach. This is a whole different game, to be a coach and an athlete. And now at the same time, it's a big mindset switch. You want to achieve, you can achieve certain things as an athlete, but these clients, they can't in the tempo you did. So you can say, do the max push-up and do this, but I've studied now, I'm studying still to see how periodization works for beginners, the best way. So I have to really study back again how I started to train these people, because coaching game is a whole different. It's a whole different game.
So you've mentioned this a lot now, you're coaching. How maybe people want to apply, or maybe like who do you coach, and is it like online? Is it face-to-face?
Right now it's face-to-face because I'm still learning. I want to do face-to-face.
So it's really one-on-one training?
Yeah, one-on-one
so
training.
40 hours a week of working, then a shit ton of time working out yourself, and then coaching people.
Yeah, but sounds a lot, but you still have 24 hours, and you have people work 18 to 20 hours a day.
Which isn't healthy.
Which isn't healthy, no. I know, but...
Okay.
Right now, it feels good to not have balance. You know, it sounds crazy. Balance is very important. Relaxing. Yesterday I had a massage. I went to the sauna. You know, I take care of the body, but I relax. I focus and I outfocus a lot of times. But I see if I give up training, I would have so many days and time over to focus on maybe being my own boss. It's true, but yeah, it's a very big risk maybe and step you have to take mentally.
Yeah, I think you could be a good brand on yourself as well. So with or without Bar Brothers,
Yes.
At least with the competitions coming up, building your own thing, and you still have a job. Besides that, would you ultimately not have the job? So if financially it would allow it, or do you like the job so much that you would always, at least for now?
I want to slowly build down to part-time work, and that can be a game changer. Part-time work and coaching. That could be a big change.
Because right now, with this one-on-one coaching, I assume it's just a few people. It's like
it's not a lot because I can't take a lot more. Because if I used to see it as a sprint, like training as well. In the beginning, I used to see it as a sprint, but after like 5 years, I think you're a quite experienced athlete. You see it as a marathon. That was a big game changer for me to see it as a marathon, to see a long term.
Again, the mindset, right?
Yeah. It's great. It's great. These mindsets are great.
Yeah, and what I like a lot about what you do right now is what I think everyone should be doing. And I know you've done it a bit different way, but a lot of people, they're sort of good at something and they think, okay, I'm going to make a course. The problem with that is I don't know what you want to learn or what you need to learn. But if I first coach a few people one-on-one and I see them all make the same, they're all doing the push-up wrong or they're all doing the periodization wrong. Exactly. Now I know, wait, this is what people struggle with. And now I can make an online program where you actually help people a lot better. So I think that's really good. I mean, you've had, I don't know how many programs before you launched this, and of course you really thought about it like a lot as well. So
you see, I have one main course before this one, which was indeed with just the experience I had, and which was not. I would say it was luckily this course because I stuck to the 3 times a week full body with some extra stuff, making it fun. But after working with tens of people and seeing the results, learning how they worked, and what worked, what didn't work, and what they liked, that's what we put into the 90-day challenge course.
And that's with everything, right? I've started businesses where we created apps where we decided what everyone wanted.
Apps in this context is kind of funny.
Oh yeah, apps like apps on a smartphone. Sorry, like app with a no P. But we thought, we know what people want. We build on it for like a year, spend a ton of money, and then no one really used it because we didn't make what they wanted. We made what we wanted. Now when we create a new software product, we first speak to the consumers. What would you need? What if we build this? What other things do you? And we just launch a simple version, get feedback, and then we do. So that's what you're doing here as well.
Yeah, that's my goal as well. I just use Instagram as a poll. I start up a poll, ask the people what they really want, because my audience is very different. I can see like the age difference. There are teenagers, there are middle-aged, and there's people in the 20s, and then you have older people, 40, 50-year-olds. So it's finding out which one I really like to coach. I'm in that phase, and that's after 7 years of not being confident enough to coach people. It's crazy. It's 7 years.
It's not crazy.
And there are people who work out two years and are already coaching people. And
but the good coaches do what you did, I think. They first learn to craft themselves really, really well, focus on themselves, improving their mindset, and then they start. Too many people, but that's again going back to the social media fake shit. See that wanted as well, start a course. Coach.
Yeah. You see it a lot. They see there's a way to make money, but I've never done it for money. I did it share my passion and motivate, inspire people, which is again very cliche to say, motivate, inspire people, but you're actually really inspiring people to do. People especially young guys can really learn from people like me better than someone who drinks and has bad habits. It's better to have someone who works out, work on your body, work on your mind. At the beginning it was all about the body, but then it became about the mind. But you see the good things what come from working out, not just the body. It's the mindset. It's crazy. That's why a lot of famous people always give examples like LeBron James or other big athletes. They use these bigger athletes because it's a big you need you need to be on your best. You need the mindset. Otherwise, you can be physically strong, but it's all about the mindset. And
I agree.
So I want to be like, at the beginning, I didn't want to be an example, but now you see people really follow you, and you became an inspiration for a lot of people, and they didn't expect it at the start. People, when I really saw it, was in foreign people. Actually, people they talk with you. They want to have your pictures. They want to be around you, and you see what kind of impact you have on the people. And if you don't visit these meetings or people, then you won't get that. How to say?
I mean, it's kind of experience, right?
It's experience.
We had a podcast with a pro gymnast, and he called it XP.
XP, like experience.
XP
experience
as in experience points. So he called that a lot, and I like that. It's just like getting these XPs, basically getting these experience points, by just doing like lots of different things. Like he basically said
he went to extremes.
He went to extremes, especially. But I like that. Yeah, it's I wasn't like this in the beginning of the years. I focused on one thing and became very good at it. But then I saw every time I get the feeling like, is this it, you know? And then someone asks you for like, go do dance lessons or try this sport or whatever. You say all the time no, because you're focused on your sport, but you should really do this stuff. And for beginners, it's very important to try as many sports as you can. See what you like.
Yeah, what you like. You did soccer, and after soccer you did calisthenics or fitness even, and because you tried it. But people are afraid to try. So people are afraid to try calisthenics as well. They don't know where to start, how to start. Exactly. And that's the same for me. I didn't know how to start coaching or whatever. I didn't know. I got a full room of information, but I didn't know what to do with it. I needed a line, and I got a couple of people who pushed me to make the step.
Let's be honest, most of us start working out because we're insecure about our body or about something, or we think we'll get girls, or we want to change. But I think so. Saying that when I started is I fully focused. You know, it was about the physique. I think I had it as well. I started working out and I thought I want to get a better body. But then all of a sudden I started noticing weight. But, you know, I should improve my sleep and I should improve these things. And my mindset started changing. Mm-hmm. So I think it's very normal that you start for one thing and then it ends up being something much bigger than what you started for.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Sometimes it takes a couple of months to, you got to get used to that it sucks not progressing as fast.
The pain.
But you have to enjoy the pain. Like look for the pain, search for the pain. Sounds weird, but you have to go through this. Then eventually, in long term, you will feel the achievement of working hard. It's very important. Like I'm doing ice baths and these kind of stuff because it feels amazing. The results you get, like the mindset, the breathing, and the breathing helps with training. You know, that's how you gotta see things. Like it's not just sporting. What do you get out of working out, and what do you get out of taking ice baths? Not the ice bath; it's the things you get from the ice bath.
Yeah,
it's literally that.
Yeah, exactly. So same with cold showers and stuff like that, and actually sleeping 8 hours at least, or 7 to 8 hours instead of the short nights. So sleeping properly is cool now instead of at least
I'm so happy about that. Yeah.
I mean, it's getting more cool.
Yeah, especially, I mean, I think in the sports world, it has been cool for a while because we know it's important for recovery. In the entrepreneur world, it was so long like hustle when others sleep.
You sleep when you're dead.
Yeah, you sleep when you're dead. You can sleep in 5 years, which it means you get, we've spoken about this 100 times. So that's
exactly.
We all agree sleep is important.
Yeah. So to finish it off, I mean, we've talked about working out quite a lot, and we know a lot more about you, especially working out. But is there some stuff that people might not know, like secret lives in terms of like, do you enjoy something? Maybe you play soccer as well, or football, or you do something completely different.
You know, yesterday I was in a gymnastic place, and I can do backflips, flick-flocks, you know.
You showed me. I was pretty impressed.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I can do crazy freestyle on the bar. People don't know that.
Oh, cool.
So I can do so many things, but because I stick to the basics every time and record that seems like I'm the only thing that I'm doing. It's a big part, like 90% of my training is basics.
Yeah.
But I can do crazy stuff, statics, freestyle. I can do everything like that. Yeah, maybe privately. I don't know. I'm single.
Single.
That doesn't surprise me looking at how many hours you put into work coaching people.
I didn't want to say it, but I would have guessed it because of just that would be.
That's fine, right? As long as you feel like right now I'm building this new thing.
I mean, there's no wrong or right.
Of course.
No.
Maybe people, I don't know. I like to be alone a lot, which helps to focus. Yeah, to focus. I like to be alone a lot. I like to be around people, but not too much. That's, I think, a big strength of mine. I can be alone very well and feel good, re-energized. And yeah, some people need people around them all the time. And I don't know.
Yeah, that's going into our main question, basically. Like, we end the podcast with, what is your superpower? What are you really good at? What do you excel at? What are you better at than others?
I think what I've heard from the best people who got the best with me, you know.
Yeah, you can brag.
It's the fire I got in me with working out, with talking with people, the power to inspire. Some people, they have so many subscribers or people who follow them, but when you meet them, it's kind of that, you know, it's, you know, I don't have that. People speak with me, they get inspired, they get new insights when they talk. I think that's my superpower. I think who I am, my, how do you say, I'm charismatic, and you know, I have humor, and that's going to be a very good combination in future in business. I can use it.
So I would say, depending on, it's an interesting point, because you say you're pretty good at being alone, right? But that does mean that you can talk to people quite well, right?
Yeah,
because some people do struggle with that. So especially people who started earlier on YouTube, they started because, I mean, they were kind of introverted, and they're not that good at speaking to people. So and they evolved into YouTube. I'm kind of in the middle, I would say. I'm not extremely. I've never struggled with that, but I've not been in, like, I'm not super outgoing right away to someone who is coming up to me, or I'm not right away talking a lot or something like that. But I think it depends on the person. That's an interesting way to look at it.
I want to ask, because you say something about YouTube. So I think about 2 years ago we met up and I kind of challenged you to start making YouTube videos. You started making YouTube videos. Yeah. They got quite a lot of views.
Yeah.
Then you disappeared from YouTube. But now I know you're recording again and you keep mentioning YouTube. What's the plan? Should we challenge you again to start creating YouTube videos?
Sometimes I lose the fire, and then I
That's
get
interesting after what you just said with the superpower.
Sometimes I lose the fire because you get things like work, you know, private work, passion, like this shit goes on.
I would say, is it really losing the fire? Or is it losing the fire for one specific thing and keeping it going for working out and work? And
but I mean, YouTube was like,
you know, you got to imagine if you work out this long, 8 years, and I have to keep challenging myself. I have to, especially sometimes I lose the thing I enjoy the most, which is working out. Sometimes I lose it, like a couple of weeks. I'm not motivated. It's normal. I'm a human too. But the reason with YouTube is, for me, I have to look the fun into YouTube. Otherwise, I won't do it. You know, just inspiring people is not enough for me to make these. It sounds crazy, but I have to enjoy it. Like I have to make something epic. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit perfectionistic.
Maybe you have to look a bit at Stan's Browney's videos.
You know, Stan has great concepts, and you're working forward, you know, for long term. You've already written down this stuff, but for me, it's
new. Like
I've been in the YouTube game for very long. Like Badr VDS was like back in the day as well.
Big YouTube channel, you guys had, right?
Me and a friend, a good friend. We had Badr VDS Netherlands actually, and went very well. But he burned out because he couldn't find the balance with private life. For me, it's the same right now with YouTube, working out, doing the coaching. What way you want to go? And I'm currently finding the way to combine the YouTube, the coaching, and private life, and working out,
and work.
Yeah, especially when doing YouTube and online stuff, that's when people lose the border between private and work, basically, because it becomes you.
Yeah.
So it's you. So it's also your private you. And that's why I think I mentioned this before as well. When I went to a Google Amsterdam meeting, they literally showed like a graph, and they showed some stats where YouTube was by far being a YouTuber was by far the most burnout rate job ever.
Bob told me about it, about many young guys who burn out in this kind of...
I think what's interesting as well here is that, yes, it can make you burn out. And yes, what you said about, it mixes with your personal life. For me, I've made a very deliberate choice that my sister, my brother, my close friends, my parents, girlfriend would never, ever be on my story, on social media, whatever. For me, social media is what I do in terms of coaching, what I do in business or the podcast or working out. And then my private life, I don't care if I don't even want thousands of people to see. They don't need to know what my mother looks like, or my sister, or the girlfriend, or whatever, right? So for me, that was the way to do it. I know you share, of course, a lot about, which makes your brand much stronger than mine, because also for other reasons, but also because you actually show and people can relate.
Yeah, people really want to know more about me and know a lot of private things, like how I live, how I cook, and maybe even about my family and stuff, because I watch people as well who share their personal life, and I like it to see it.
Exactly.
But I don't know, families, yes, same like you. Yeah. I'm like on Bob's side a little bit. It's like what fits, what feels very, the best for you.
There is also here to sort of say how that went. I mean, I'm literally deliberately choosing to show my family, but not in a way that I'm saying like, hey, come be in front of the camera right now. You have to be in front of the camera. No, they actually like it. They want to be. Yeah. They actually ask if they, well, not really ask, can I be in a video, please? That's definitely what they do. But to have my brother on, who's behind the camera, I mean, it was just a natural thing to happen. He got inspired by what I was doing with working out. He got overweight, even though he used to be very fit always. Now he wanted to challenge himself. He mentioned it one time, so I challenged him.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm definitely not trying to burn you here or anything.
There's no side here.
But I think it's a choice. And again, I agree with both of you. It's probably stronger to show everyone around you. For me, it's just, I think I don't want to share it. And it helps me, it prevents me from losing that line between what's my social media life and what's my personal life, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
Cool. Yeah. I think, so should we'll definitely be sharing all your socials. Should we share your YouTube as well?
Yeah, sure.
You're going
to be uploading?
Do it at your own pace, whatever you want.
Yeah. YouTube. Bob made me start like YouTube consistently for 2 months, because we had a bet. If I didn't upload in 2 weeks, I gotta pay his dinner on his choice.
Yep.
So
and otherwise you would pay, or...
I don't even know.
No, we
just wanted it. It was like a one-way sort of
that makes more sense.
Yeah. It's crazy how good that worked for me to even start. Like he got me into like literally uploading.
I like that bet.
Me too. Yeah. Nothing to lose, right?
Because you're accountable. Like it's crazy. With accountability partners.
Yeah. So we've talked about being alone, having accountability. We talked about workout. We talked about how you worked out with 30 days of fasting. Yeah. Lots of stuff in this podcast. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you as well.
Put everything in the description, show notes, and thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next episode.